Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity. Bare necessity, but simple bare necessity.
Hey there, it's Breeberry. Another tag created by Margaret. This is the If Books Were Batfam tag. So it's an updated version of the If Books Were Superheroes tag, but this is specifically Batfam. So, number 1, Nightwing. A favorite first book in a series. For that, I'm going with Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Phenomenal first book to a series. Oracle, a favorite sci-fi or futuristic book. And while I know this author duo may not be very they're a little controversial. I don't know all of the details and I haven't done enough research to speak on that, but I really love this series a lot. It was kind of like my first actually falling in love with sci-fi, and that is the Illuminate Files. It is told in multimedia. Number 3, Red Hood, a book that was better the second time around. For this, I decided to go with Wilder Girls by Rory Power, which I reread last year and was definitely better the second time, because the second time around I didn't have the same expectations in my head of what I thought the book was. I try not to let those expectations affect my view on a book, but sometimes it does. And so I try to give books a second chance when I do have that problem occur. And this is one of those books that I did that with, where I went back and gave it a second shot because I think that it was my expectations that made it not quite as enjoyable as I would have liked. And the second time around was so much better for me, and it bumped up a whole star. Red Robin, a book that low-key wowed you. For this, I'm going with Technically You Started It by Lana Wood Johnson. I gave this 5 stars. It is told entirely in text messages, and it is a YA contemporary. What wowed me about it was the way that the story was able to be told through that format of text very, very well. And this, honestly, this book was kind of like what I wanted Emergency Contact to be. It accomplished a lot of the things that I was looking for in Emergency Contact and felt like I didn't get. So I kind of enjoyed that element of it. I also feel like it addressed a lot of different things, but not in a pushy way, more in like an open and enjoyable way. Orphan, a book that you wish more people talked about. And for this, I'm going with A Curse in Ash by Julie Zantopoulos, because everybody need to read it. Okay, but seriously though, I do really wish that more people talked about this book, because it's actually quite phenomenal. And like, if you like the writing, the way that Olivia Dade writes her characters, then you will love the way that Julie writes her characters. If you like that like open, honest relationship where characters are genuinely trying to be good people and like be healthy in their relationships with each other, like that's something I love about Olivia Dade's books, and I love about Julie, the way that she wrote the characters in A Curse in Ash. That element alone, like if that kind of writing style really resonates with you, then you need to pick this up. But add in magic. Oh yeah. Chef's kiss. Add in a little bit of, like, it's literally like these 2 books. Like, this is the fantastical version of this vibe. Number 6, a book that you're glad you got spoiled for. So this is a book that I haven't actually read yet, but I'm very glad that I know one particular part of this story. I don't know anything else. I only know the premise and then this one scene that is in this book. And I'm so freaking glad that I know it. And the book is If I Stay. Now, I was recently discussing this, and I actually thought that this scene was in what do you call, The Fault in Our Stars, but it's actually in this book. And it's the scene where they like play each other like their instruments. Like, she plays cello. I don't know what he plays, but like, it's supposed to be schmexy, I think. But like, as a musician, I'm disturbed. And I'm glad that I know that that's something I'm going to experience when I do my first time reading video for this book, so that I can be prepared for the moment and not automatically DNF it. Because if I did not know that was in there and I read it, I would probably have DNF'd. But now, knowing that it's there, I will push through for the sake of the content and for the sake of finding out why people fawned over this book so much. Robin, a book you didn't like at first. This one was kind of hard to find one for, because a lot of books that I didn't like at first end up being average reads, or I don't remember that I didn't like them at first, or I've really talked about them a lot. Perks of Being a Wallflower, because it was such a dramatic experience of like dislike to like. But I did decide that I could probably count The Knife of Never Letting Go by Patrick Ness. This book was mediocre at first. It wasn't like I hated it, but it was definitely like, it felt like very dystopian in a way where it was just like, meh. Dystopians aren't, it takes a lot for me to want to read a dystopian book, just because they kind of all feel been there, done that. They all kind of have the same themes and focuses and topics. And so for me, it takes a lot for me to be interested in actually wanting to pick it up. So, number 8. Yes, that is an 8. Number 8, Batwoman, a book that challenges gender norms. I went with One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston because I feel like this one challenges gender roles constantly. Like, it's just a consistent element of the story. Number 9, a new fave. Batwing. I should probably say the character's name. Batwing, a new fave. So, because I just did a bunch of new books that I read recently in the last tag, I struggled a little bit to think of something that was technically a new fave because I haven't read a lot of books this year, A, and B, I talked about all of the recent books that I read in the last tag, so even if it was like a more recent book that I fell in love with, I talked about it in the last video mostly, so I went with Persepolis because it is a whole new favorite type of thing that I didn't know I loved, and that is graphic novel nonfiction. Like, I did not know that I could like a memoir until I read this book. Alfred, always there for you. A book that's always there for you. And I decided to go with one that I don't talk about as much, and that is The Girl in the Gatehouse by Julie Klassen. This is a book that I read way back in the Regency romance era of my reading life, which is pre-BookTube. And this is one of the books that I reread a lot. This one, The Silent Governess, this author in general is a great author, fave author in the genre of mine. And for me, like, those two books in particular were like comfort reads because it's like they were so fascinating and like the plot was really captivating, but at the same time it was like after you read it then you knew what was going to happen, and so then it was just like kind of like a comfort read. And I do have the audiobook actually of one or two books by Julie Klassen. I think this one for sure. just to have as like background noise when I'm trying to go to bed and I need something to listen to, and I can't sleep and I need something to like fall into, like to put my brain somewhere other than spinning thoughts. Really great way to fall asleep, by the way. A story that you know well, so it's not like you're gonna get stuck reading all night long, but like you can listen to it long enough to like turn your brain off. Works quite well. Great anxiety coping mechanism. But yeah, this is one of those books that I can definitely rely on for that. Catwoman, a book that stole your heart. For this, I'm gonna go with a duology. And that is the Strange the Dreamer duology. Oh my goodness. I was so captivated by these characters, by their experiences. I love the way that these were written. I love the kind of redemption of the different characters. The fact that it was like, it was really just like all of these characters are trying to do what they think is best for everyone around them, even if it's not really what the other people want. And like, it's good. It's so good. I love it. I love it a lot. I really want to reread this too. I have a lot of rereading to do. Batman, a book that got you into reading. I'm gonna go with Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. I read this originally in like the end of elementary school or middle school. I don't remember which. But I love it. It's so good. I loved the movie, but the book is so much better. The old movie. I haven't seen the new movie yet. Or the newest one. Like when this book got a whole resurge a few years ago. Like what, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? When it resurged and everybody started freaking out over it again and reading it because of the movie. Yeah. I haven't seen that movie. But like the previous movie to that, one of the previous versions, I like it a lot. I love the acting in it. However, the writing choices were not my favorite. Because what they did is they focused solely on Jo and her storyline within the story. But that's not actually how the book goes. The book follows each sister through different portions of time, and so you see this development of all of the sisters. Yeah, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day or night, whatever time it is for you. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, join the Bear Scouts, and the notification bell down below so that you'll be notified every time I post a new video. But more importantly, so that I can see you again very soon. Peace out, Bear Scouts.
About your worries and your stress. I mean it, bare necessities. That's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Yeah, with just the bare necessities of life.